What is up, my friends? Jesse here with Just Man Reselling. Today I'm going to time myself uploading 10 real picture postcards. Typically these take a little longer because they need a little more research. And then the more modern cards are pretty straightforward when you're uploading them from my experience. I've never really timed myself, so 12:44. I will give it a go. Add photos, postcards, and then here we go. I'm gonna always move over. I always have this second one because sometimes it's hard for me to read that. I mean, I can blow this up a little better. And then I always keep the real picture postcard. Crater Lake, Oregon. And then I would see if there's anything here. The year looks like that's 1931 from what I can tell. So I'll typically throw that in. And then I'll drop this into eBay just to see what it comes up with. What I like to do is I like to go from lowest because that gives me an idea of where I can list. $14. And then what we're also going to want to see, I think I'm going to shrink. Yeah, there we go. So fewer words. There's stuff at like 12. So let's see what's sold. I think this is what's most important is actually what's selling. Sometimes I think it's better to pull out stuff that might not matter to get a little better. That's kind of similar. This is very similar to mine. So this is kind of a sad thing here. 1275 or 275. So basically, I don't see any that cheap. I mean, that's pretty cheap. It's pretty cheap. And that's pretty similar to mine. So this is what sucks. This is the debate on listing or not listing. This appears to be a very generic card. They have a picture of the bag. Let's just list it. Not always what I would do, but since sometimes I just don't list these and then I wait to group them in a group setting. So that's one. And then I just hit create similar, remove all, and then I pick up my second one. I paid about $1 for that last one. Maybe I can go over what I'm paying for these as well. I picked these all up from the same store, so I have the prices in front of me. This is probably a little more likely to go for a little more. It's some of the people will tell you to stay away from the really popular areas, and that's kind of why. I've never even heard of Ackley, Minnesota. I never do the MIN because I don't know that anyone would abbreviate that. My spelling isn't always the greatest, but that's why we have. And maybe cabin I would throw in there. Let's see what this pulls up. Deer Lake. So it's not really pulling up anything. Lake Ackley right here. So that might be what we want to do. This is what I found to sometimes be more helpful, is just I'll take out the cabin. I still have it sorted by cheapest, yeah. So I'm not seeing any. That one's kind of like ours, but that's for 30 bucks. So this is looking a little better here. 8. I'm not seeing anything like ours. This is why it just takes a little longer. So then I did pull up Terapeak or product research, whatever you want to call it. I'll do something I do very basic on these. It looks like 15 is the highest. A lot of times I will go and see what the 15 is. That's kind of an interesting one there. These are pretty cool, eh? So I think those people at 29 is higher than the market is. And I had the product research set for 3 years. Some people might research it more than that, but I'm looking to sell these cards. So I want to price mine in a fair spot. $6. Yeah. I think this is just too much. So we can probably get in below this person here. Let's do, what would you list it for? I want to sell it. I'm going to do $14.99. And sometimes I do a little bit. Some people might feel differently about that, but so that one I paid $2.50, but I had 30% off. So I don't know, that's about $2. Next one. I tried to select like a variety of ones, so to kind of get like a more random mix of what you would actually experience when going through these, if you're to buy a lot. So this is Long Beach Farm, just hatched. Then there's a copyright here, 1909. I don't know if that's worth putting in there. Why? And then we can check out the front. It's clean. Nice looking card. So right here's an exact match. So I'm going to want to go below that. $6. So what was, if we do, I'm going to go, I paid, let's see, that's not the one I want. Okay, I paid $3 for this one. Or yeah, so I had 30% off. So I paid about $2.10, something like that. So I think that's the other thing that it's good to have in front of you. I'll keep the 2%. That one went pretty quick. So that's the nice, I mean, that's the only nice thing about like if there's something similar. But if there's something similar, then it's less rare, so you're not going to get as much. So that's the only downside. So this one's a little beat up, but I think it's also good to have like the price that I paid in front of these, because then I'm kind of seeing that how well I did on the purchase. A lot of resellers are looking to 5 or 10x. So that says near, I think that's Eureka, California. So we'll just put CA, California. I threw a W on there by accident. The back was clean. I also keep the cards right next to me, so for some reason that blanked it out. It does say Postcard on the bag with the stamp and all that jazz. So that's a little bummer because that might hurt sales that it made it that white. Typically my scanner is pretty good. I don't know why it struggled there. Anyways. Shasta. That's a similar bridge. So it's not showing much for Pioneer's Bridge. Pitt Bridge. Not seeing anything. Mining operation. So this could be a good thing. Let's. Pioneer's Bridge might be too generic. $3 to $15. I have it sorted from high to low. So I think that one kind of looked like mine. Yeah. That was a $3.99 one. I don't think I want mine to go that cheap. I paid about $2.10. So this is potentially a bad buy, but let's see what to do. So what I sometimes will do here, just when I'm not sure, I'll do something like this. Let's do this actually. No great buys by me yet. It's Sunday for me, around 12:57, 1. So I could schedule this. Let's go for, I don't know, 5 would be, that's today, right? And I typically don't advertise my auctions, especially when there's not much to risk. If it's a high dollar item, I don't want it to go low, and sometimes I will. So normally I flip these when I scan them, but I didn't for this one. But that's a quick fix. So the timing piece for me on this isn't like a huge deal, just because I can do this later at night as kind of a relaxation thing. I don't find it quite like work. Dubois? Is that how you say that? Wyoming, I think, is. And then this one had a clean back. It is a real picture. Most of these are. If I'm always unsure, you just see if they pixelate. That's the easiest way to check. Just to zoom in like that. Rome, Georgia, Delaware. So there's nothing Some of these go for a decent amount. We'll see if anything pops up. Dubois. So there's 2 there, but it looks different than mine. This is probably an older one, but it might be the same church. I'm thinking so. I could maybe enter that. I'm not going to worry about that. Just going to go over here and so there's some sales. $8.98. I think that's kind of what mine looks like. Yeah. And right there's one. So let's do, I don't see one currently like that. So mine's in nice condition. I'm not going to advertise this one just because. So let's see, Wyoming. This one was about 210 as well. So this one will be a win if it sells. That's like what, a 6x. So another look for random spots that seems to be, sometimes I want to fight that, but in general it seems to be pretty true. So happy with that purchase. Maybe that helps some of the other ones average out. This one's gonna be a little tougher. And this is why I like to have it blown where I can blow it up. It is Virginia City. So I've been doing postcards for close to 2 months now. It looked like someone had written on the back 1940 gold stamping mill. I'll throw that on there. I don't have any good way to prove it. Gold stamping mill. Oh, and yeah, I have Nevada in multiple spellings there. Let's see what this brings up. I have a good vibe on this one. Could be wrong. Silver stop. That one kind of looks like mine, right? Yeah. But then it's not what people listed for, it's what they actually sell for, right? Oh, $3.99. That's not the greatest, right? $9.99. I don't see any really like mine. That one looks like mine, no doubt. It's got a church. Mine's a divided back, so I can't remember if that makes it older than this one or not. Divided or undivided. I'm still kind of learning that. I don't have it like memorized at the top of my head. So let's see here. We might have to take some stuff off, but we'll see if that pulls anything. Yeah, so let's Virginia City. That might pull in stuff from Virginia. It's the only problem. Yeah, it pulls in a lot of stuff. So we're gonna want to do in Nevada. So there's all sorts of sales here. city. Those look like trains. Sorry, I could probably blow this up a little more for you people trying to look on YouTube. Yeah, that's a little better viewing, eh? Even for myself. So those are all trains. Trains. That one's pretty old. If I go under 20 bucks, I can slip it in the dollar shipping. It's kind of similar to mine there, right? That is mine. Okay. So mine's a little nicer on the edges. Boom. We can, let's go. So I'm not trying to gouge anyone here just because I am trying to move these things. It's like, that's the last thing I want to do is come reprice this thing. That being said, let's make it a little more attractive, eh? Let it rip. Let's see, I did $2 on that card, so that was okay. Good purchase there. But that one person that sold it for a very similar one for $3-4, I don't know. That was maybe a bad sale. That's tough to read, eh? For me, I don't know. It's Bonneville and oh, it's something ladder, fish ladder, right? That must be the style. It's a pretty cool picture. Nothing to distinguish it on the back. Let's see what we get. For me, this is kind of like learning history too. It's like another reason I don't really mind it. That one's similar to mine, but not quite as much. I do have it listed low to high, right? Oh, there's just not much matching, but those are similar. But those were auctions, so. That's the picture there. That sucks, right? That's about what I paid for it. Oh. And they're offering free shipping. I don't know. To me, that's not even worth listing, to be honest. Yeah, and then there's multiples here. So it was a bad buy on my part. This is the tricky thing, is like when I remove here, it doesn't always immediately come back. I don't know. So then a lot of times what I'm able to do, because I didn't like list it, so it's like I've removed twice. Recreation building camp Clements FFA Sparta Spencer. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get Tennessee. One letter short. That's a bummer. think that's better than, I realize this just says Sparta, so then, and I think Sparta is the bigger town, I'm not sure. Not sure at all. So nothing pops up. That can be a very good thing. Sparta, Michigan. Cool. This is a good. This just requires more work, but like in my view, it's a good sign on pricing because now we're talking about rarity. It's just, so I'm gonna take out stuff that I don't. That's crazy, eh? Camp Clements. Let's try that. Okay. One's a World War II camp. One's in Maine. So it doesn't look like there's any hubs out there for this one. Yeah, Google doesn't know what to make of it. It kind of looks like it, but... So what would you guys and gals do here? I think this is a good sign. Another thing I can do is... Camp Clement. Yeah, so it's a thing. It's the oldest FFA camp in the nation since 1927. That's pretty cool. Let me make sure this is a real picture. It is not a real picture. So I need to pull that off the listing. Glad I checked. See how it pixelates? There's basically the dots. So that's not a real picture. So the debate here is let it run an auction or just price it high. I know some people don't like auctions, but I feel like sometimes it can, but man, it's just weird that there's no sales. Camp Clements. Oops. FFA. See if anything's selling. There's one sale. Swimming pool. 1989. So these look to be pretty rare postcards. In my opinion, it's probably worth more than... I'm gonna let it rip. And you guys can check back and see what it sold for. I don't know if it's worth... Yeah, let's advertise it. I need to change this because it's more than 20 bucks. And then if this doesn't sell, I'll list it for a fixed price, but I do want to change the start time to something people do church and stuff on. So that's I'm in California, so I think 5 p.m. my time, 7 p.m. Missouri, and then 9 p.m. New York. So really, I would be looking at like 8 o'clock in Tennessee. Let's see how it does. I'm stoked about that card. Oh, and this is what it does, but it's always good that it catches it. So then we have. So this has already taken us a while, right? Yeah, and this is what I've found with these. I think we started at like 43, so we're. I think that's why people that do this all the time try to get into the higher dollar stuff. It's just more worth your time. Let's see here. So that's not a real picture either. Oops. I thought this one was kind of cool. Yeah, I don't know why my keyboard got weird there for a second. Road agents. OMG. It would just be funny if my battery's running low on my keyboard. I have more, so it's not a big deal. But Boot Hill. Plumber Gang. See what that does. So a lot of stuff comes down to like what you pay for the card in the end. This is the card here for sure. I don't know why they. Maybe that's $14.95. That's a good sign. But there was none sold, so it's like it's great that that's what you're asking. But I'm gonna do this. So they're all like newer cards. $7, no shipping. So we're probably somewhere between 7 and 15. $3 up would be 10. And this person's asking for, let's do, this one I paid about $2 for. The rest of these I paid about $2 for. So let it go live right now, and then I just go in a letter. Cool, that one was easy. Catch up a little time there. I don't mind undercutting people and going for the sale, and then the collector benefits. I move my money, and I'm not tied up into these things. I've been paying attention more to my sale rate as I've been watching more reseller videos. And just it's something I finally came into is just it's better to try to compound your money than to like go after every last penny. So I never do the MIN. We talked about that before. I always abbreviate it like. So that's not a real picture either. But man, that kind of looks like one. It's old as hell. what would you call that? 19, it's before 10, right? So if I do that, not, maybe it's older, but maybe it's not. High school, we are looking for the high school. That kind of looks like it. Probably about as good as condition as mine. Maybe a little better condition. We'll see what's sold. $6. These are looking pretty good. 10. So then it changes town here pretty quickly, right? So then we need to go over to Terra Peak. Eden Valley. It's weird that how that shows up. 29. That's a nice card. That looks like a real picture. Mine's similar to that, but then we have these. This guy is popular on YouTube. I forget his name off the top of my head. 1911. So mine's a little older. Or best offer. So let's just. If someone doesn't want to mess around with the best offer, then the shipping. And boom. That's 10. That took quite a while. 20. I'm guessing that took us about 40 minutes. That's about 4 per postcard, which is kind of long. But so I could do. Yeah, that's. So I could have done another 5. I could have done 15 in an hour. So then if I'm paying myself $30 an hour, that's $2 on every card. So I'm just doing it as a hobby. So, but it's a way to look at it. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and gals, like and subscribe, and I'll catch you later. Peace.